Hello all, Kevin Hefner here. Wanted to go over today the greatest right fielders of all time in the opinion of historic autographs. And I just want to say before I start that I would like to get a lot more people to get involved. Put a comment down, even if you don't want to leave who you think are the greatest third basemen, shortstops, or managers, which are our next lists. Even if you don't want to leave a comment on that, try to take some time just to leave a comment. I want interaction. Baseball's such a great sport. Hopefully this list will get you to want to interact because this list was difficult. There is a whole crap ton of great right fielders. Guys that we left off the list are ridiculous. I'll go over some of the ones that missed for obvious reasons, like Sammy Sosa, Strawberry, and Sheffield, all of which had some types of substance problems within their career. Other guys like Babe Herman, Sam Rice, they missed it. Vladimir Guerrero is real close. He's got to be the best of the honorable mentions. Followed by like Dave Winfield, Chuck Klein, Paul Wainer, Harry Heilman, and Sam Crawford. All these guys can lay claim to being great, but it is going to be very hard to crack this top 10 list when your number 10 man is Tony Gwynn, one of my favorite players. Probably outside of Ted Williams, the best pure contact hitter in the sport. Next is going to be Ichiro, and I think Ichiro would have been way higher on this list had he played his entire career in America, but he did spend all those years in Japan, but still was on this list because over 3,000 hits, all the hits that he had early in his career. We didn't get to see the best of we probably saw the best of Ichiro, but definitely not. We would have seen so much more if he had been here his whole career. Number 8 on my list is Al Kaline. Gives you an idea how deep this list is when Al Kaline's number 8, the all-time Tiger leader in so many categories, and loved by so many generations because he was there for so long. Next is Reggie Jackson, the straw that stirs the drink. Reggie is phenomenal, but Reggie's below a couple of these other guys because of his batting average. Prodigious home runs, great ball player, great salesman of himself. We all know that, but Reggie's below the top 6 for the reason of his batting average. Number 5 is a guy that most people would have left off their list. I didn't. He played right field more than any other outfield position, so I am putting Joe Jackson in at number 5. Yes, he threw a World Series. Yes, that's despicable. But he was a .356 career hitter, had a lot of power for the dead ball era, and had he made it into the live ball era, he would have probably shown 40 or 45 home run average. If you look at his numbers, it tells you he was just a great hitter. So I'm putting him on this list, absent the things that he did. Number 5 is Mel Ott, both power and average for quite a diminutive man. The top 4, it's the top next 2 and 3 are really hard to differentiate, but I put them in this order. Number 4 is Frank Robinson for all the great things he did, and I'm not even talking his managerial career. The only player to win MVPs in both leagues, only player ever to win the Triple Crown in both leagues. Undervalued in an era that saw Willie Mays and Hank Aaron and Ernie Banks. Frank Robinson is and was, he just passed, one of the greatest players in the game. But I think Roberto Clemente was better, and he's number 3 on the list. I love Roberto Clemente for this reason. Not only was he the leader for the Latino community early in baseball, but he never got away from his heritage. He was proud of who he was without being obnoxious by who he was. When the press kept trying to call him Bobby or Bob, he just would answer with, "My name is Roberto," and it was so respectful. And he was powerful in the way he played the game, and he had a cannon. He might have the best outfield arm I'd ever seen. Number 2, the next 2 were real easy. It's Hank Aaron is number 2 on the list, and the only reason he is number 2 on the list, with all his great accomplishments, is the fact that Babe Ruth played right field. Babe Ruth is, without question, number 1 on the list. But Hank Aaron, all-time leader in home runs, barring the question marks or asterisks you want to put next to Barry Bonds. And great hitter, great average hitter. He's at over 300 hitter. Hank was fantastic, but it's hard to go up against Babe Ruth because Ruth did in such a short period of time what every player wants to do in a career. Ruth was the greatest pitcher of his era, left-handed pitcher of his era. And yet, once they figured out how well he could hit the ball, he changed the game from the live to the dead ball era. Maybe it was just fortuitous that it was during that time when Ray Chapman had gotten plunked and died, and they were forced to change the ball. But I mean, he was hitting home runs. He out-homered the league in 1919 when they still used a dead ball. Ruth has to be here. Ruth was the greatest player ever, whether he was overweight, in shape, drunk. And I'm not, he would drink during games. Babe Ruth just was more talented than any other player of all time, so Babe Ruth's number one on the list. Anyway, that's our list for this week. We are going to do a fun list next week, among others, and that's going to be the all-juiced team, because there are some great players that played our game that have those asterisks next to them. But we will do the all-juiced team next week, along with the best third baseman, best shortstop, and best managers. So if you want to throw some names out there for the all-juiced team, please do. If not, just wait on the next week and you'll get to see who we put out there. Thank you very much.
Hey, don't forget to leave comments below, check out our website, and make sure you hit that subscribe button for future notifications on historic autograph products and different topics of discussion.